Good morning, gang. Happy Monday morning. Well, here we are. It's Judgment Day, right? This is the day the world is going to end. Yeah, okay. I'll see you in the morning. Uh, funny thing here is this isn't the topic of the video, just to start here. But funny thing is with the whole uh, eclipse that we're going to see today. Well, never mind. We're not going to see the eclipse today. Unless maybe you live in Maine. That's about it. Because miraculously, it's going to be cloudy over the entire path up until you get to Maine of the eclipse. So all those hundreds of thousands or millions of people that are traveling to go see this and spending money and getting hotels and battling traffic and stocking up on food and all this crazy crap. Okay. Ain't gonna see squat. I just think it's hilarious. Okay. So, but no, that's not the point. What I want to talk about today is the massive misinformation, disinformation campaign that's being put out there and the spin that is out there that you need to pay attention to. Okay. We all know there hopefully will be an election here in November, and we have probably the worst president ever as the sitting incumbent versus arguably one of the best presidents, ex-presidents ever running against him. Should be interesting. But of course, we have a entire section of the population that believes in whatever bullshit they are told by CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, CBS, ABC, NBC, NPR, pick one. Okay. This is kind of interesting. This is the liberal way of thinking. Now, y'all know all the battleground states, that are going to decide the election. Nevada, Arizona, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Georgia, maybe New Hampshire. Okay, those are the key ones. The other states are pretty much foregone conclusion. Okay, I mean the chances Biden have of winning Tennessee are about the same chance I have of winning Tennessee. So yeah, not worried about that. So on April 2nd in Pennsylvania, a couple of organizations, one called Spotlight Pennsylvania and one called Vote Beat, held a live panel Q&A with Al Schmidt, who's the Secretary of State in Pennsylvania, okay, and Beth Schwanke, who is on University of Pittsburgh's disinformation lab team, okay. And the topic of conversation was creating trust in our election system and how to combat misinformation. Okay. Now, both Schmidt and Schwanke voiced their stance on misinformation and disinformation surrounding elections. That was the whole point of this thing. Okay. Schwanke, of course, recommended that rather than conducting self-led investigations, that Pennsylvania should place their confidence in trusted media sources. Her quote, get this: "One thing everyone can do is make sure they are seeing accurate information is to use trusted sources. So in elections, that means using the Department of State. That means using your county elections office. It means using media organizations that adhere to professional journalism standards like your local NPR affiliate." Right. Okay. And it doesn't mean, doing your own research and just asking questions and sharing, posts from, I don't know, in my case, it's Uncle Joe, right? That's what she said. Okay. So the liberal arm of this country is trying to convince people, in this case, in a swing state, don't go look up information yourself. Just trust NPR, right? Okay. I mean, my left arm can't reach as far left as NPR is. Let's trust CNN. Let's trust Don Lemon or Anderson Cooper. Let's trust MSNBC, because Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow are so good at bringing the truth to people, right? Okay. You know, it's hilarious. I mean, even look at Fox, okay? What's his name? Neil Cavuto, okay? I mean, you gonna trust him? I wouldn't trust what he says as far as I could spit, okay? Because he's a hack. But people listen to this crap, okay? That, whatever the media tells us must be the truth. I want to give you this, okay? We've all heard the stuff out of the media. Climate change is real, right? Okay. That Biden legitimately won the 2020 election, right? Okay. That electric vehicles are better than internal combustion engine cars, right? Okay. What was that picture that we all saw over the winter with all the EVs on the road? Yeah. Okay. Being towed by gas-powered tow trucks. Yeah, there you go. But the fun one is when you get Joe, and we're supposed to believe this, right? Where Joe and all his speeches. I mean, and I'm not talking about, he crossed the Francis Scott Key Bridge all the time, in the train, even though it didn't have train tracks. I'm not talking about Joe's gaffes. I'm talking about the stuff that they try to actually get people to believe. Joe repeating over and over and over again, the U.S. has the strongest economy in the world. Well, I guess that's not saying much for the rest of the world, right? Okay. Let's think about some of the great things we've got going on right now. 40%, that's the official rate of food inflation in Joe's tenure. Okay. The highest mortgage rates since October of 2000. That's almost 25 years. It's a generation. Okay. The lowest labor participation rate since September of 1977. Who was president then? Oh yeah, that'd be the peanut farmer, Jimmy Carter, one of the other candidates for worst president ever. We have the lowest consumer confidence rate since the summer of 2016. Who was president then? Oh yeah, that would be another candidate for worst president ever. Okay. But now we've got something even better. Okay. This just came out yesterday. Okay. And this is, well, actually it came out Friday. I take it back. When we heard the blowout employment numbers, the 300,000 jobs that have been created, it blew away what everybody expected. But if you read the Bureau of Labor Statistics report, this is where it gets fun. How many of you are struggling to find a job? How many of you are worried about losing your job? I want to give you this. According to BLS, the number of immigrants, both legal and illegal, working in the United States has grown by 3.4 million people between February of 2020, okay, and February of 2024. 3.4 million immigrants, okay, so that's illegals and H-1Bs, okay, have gotten jobs in the United States. Oh, great, we need more workers. Here's the catch. The number of U.S.-born workers in the same time period has declined by 78,000 people. 3.4 million illegals and legal immigrants getting jobs in our country, while 78,000 of our citizens have lost their jobs. Isn't that interesting? Okay. The great economy that we have Now we're seeing reports daily about companies laying off, companies closing altogether, right? There's the workers out there. But all this DEI bullshit, oh, you need to support the illegals, you need to support the immigrants. Screw your neighbor, you know, the hell with your cousin, you know. Let's not hire anybody that was born here, you know. Let's hire a bunch of cheap labor, you know. And I've told you guys many times, I mean, well, no, illegals come here to work under the table, and the companies that hire them pay them pennies, you know, because it's cheap labor. I've told you the story about how the H-1Bs get over here, and basically they're indentured servants to whoever holds their H-1B and says, you're going to go to this company, we're going to charge $50 an hour for you to work there, and we're going to pay you $8 an hour, and I'm going to keep that $42 spread, and if you don't like it, we'll put you on the next plane back to Delhi. That's how that works, okay? So this is what companies are doing. This is why you hear me say all the time that we need to kill the H-1B program altogether, that we do not need to bring in immigrants into this country at the rate at which we are doing, because the law says the only reason you can hire an immigrant, you know, get an H-1B, is if there is not an American citizen that can fill the job. It doesn't say at the price you want to pay, but that's what they want. That's what they come up with. They go, well, I can't find a neurosurgeon who wants to work for $30,000 a year, so I've got to go find one from India. That's what you get, okay? Then you add crime to this mix, okay? Yeah, there's more to this video, okay? You know, all these illegals coming across the border, right? You know, helpful to the U.S. economy. Not only are they taking jobs away from our citizens, but every day we read stories about rapes, about murders, about theft, about whatever crime they're committing, okay? You know, like the guy over the weekend, you heard the story, he's been deported 8 times. He was just arrested for murder, deported 8 times. And somehow he's still in the country, okay? Or in the country again because of our nice porous border. How about the TikToker who's been all over the news waving around his stack of $100 bills going, I'm going to start a business squatting in people's homes and taking possession of them and giving them to the migrants. He's in jail. Okay. You know, Biden's tied the hands of ICE, you know, and Border Patrol, certainly, you know, not letting them do anything. Sanctuary cities just, of course, refuse to turn over any of these criminals for deportation. So, you know, you asked for it, you got it, Toyota. Okay. But what's been the Department of Justice's response lately? Get this. And again, as always, I will link all this stuff below for you. So if you listen to the video, this I love in the comments. You need to quote your sources when you say something. You need to go read them in the description because they're already there for you. Okay. But so what's been the Department of Justice's response to all this crime? Well, how about this? The latest training for FBI agents is now training them that pro-life people are more dangerous than Islamic terrorists. Remind me the last time a pro-lifer blew up skyscrapers on the Manhattan skyline. Remind me the last time a pro-lifer sunk a U.S. Navy vessel. Misinformation, disinformation. Gee, trusted news sources? It seems to me that all the misinformation and the disinformation is coming out from those sources. The only way you're going to get the real news is if you do your own research. Because the people that this idiot from University of Pitt want us to trust are about the least trustworthy people in the country. You know, Comedy Central has more credibility than CNN and MSNBC. Okay, you know, the Bozo the Clown show has more credibility than George Stephanopoulos or any of the people on 60 Minutes or NBC News, anything, CBS, NBC, ABC, it's CBS, NBC, ABC, DNC. That's pretty much what you got there. It's going to be funny because while they are bending over backwards trying to spread misinformation and disinformation by telling you it's not misinformation and disinformation, so compounding their lies, they're losing more and more ground. They're now paranoid about RFK Jr. running in the election this fall, again, if we have one. Because RFK's now polling at about 20%. To give you a scary point, Joe's barely polling at 40. Okay. RFK will steal votes from Trump. Maybe a third of RFK's votes will be Trumpsters. 2/3 are going to be Biden voters. They're panicked. They know Obama's third term is about to come to an end, and all this is going to get killed. And their great utopia, their new world order, their dreams of the World Economic Forum are all about to die. And I can't wait to bury them all. Pinball out.